listening right now, I want to ask you something personal. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like a ghost? Like everyone saw right through you, even though you were trying your hardest to matter? This is a story about being invisible, about being the family's mistake, about being told you don't belong here. But it's also a story about truth, about love that refuses to die, and about building a legacy so powerful, even the ones who tried to erase you have to whisper your name. So sit back, close your eyes, let me take you into the world I once believed I didn't deserve to exist in. I'm Claire, and this is how it all began. The house was silent that morning. Mom had sent an invitation that looked more like a legal summons. Meeting at 10 a.m. sharp. All family members present. Discussion regarding asset distribution. I didn't know what to expect. Maybe they were finally selling the estate. Maybe this was about dividing things fairly. Or maybe, just maybe, I'd finally be seen. I wore the only decent blazer I had. Drove 4 hours back to the house I once called home. The house that raised me in silence and rules and expectations I never met. Rachel, my older sister, arrived 30 minutes early. She always did. She greeted Mom with 2 kisses on each cheek, like royalty. Dad gave her a nod. Then he looked at me and said, "You're here." Not hello, not how have you been, just you're here. We sat in the parlor, velvet chairs, a fireplace no one used, and a family portrait over the mantel, one where I wasn't even looking at the camera. Lawyer said, as per the request of the living will documentation, we'll begin with asset allocation. Rachel Monroe, you are the primary beneficiary. She blinked, smiled, said nothing. You are to receive the full $10 million inheritance, including all properties, investment portfolios, and intellectual properties registered under the Monroe family name. And then he looked at me. Again, Lawyer Claire Monroe, the family thanks you for your independence. There is no inheritance listed under your name. And then he looked at me. Lawyer Claire Monroe, the family thanks you for your independence. There is no inheritance listed under your name. Mom, you've always been the strong one. You'll figure things out. You're used to making your own way. Dad, we believe in your potential, but life rewards those who contribute. I couldn't breathe. Not because I expected the money, but because I didn't even expect to be ignored this blatantly. Like I was just a stray cat who wandered into the house and sat down. Rachel didn't even look up. She was already on her phone, texting someone. I walked out, got into my car, and drove. And that's when I saw him, an old man in a brown trench coat, standing by the gate, holding an envelope. Stranger, Claire, your grandfather made me promise. If this day ever came, this arrived. And it did. This is yours. He handed me the envelope and without another word, walked away. Inside was a letter. Claire, if you're reading this, they did it. They chose to forget you, but I never did. I left you something the world will never forget. Go to the cabin. You are not their mistake. You are my miracle. Grandpa Witt. It took me 3 days to find it. A small wooden structure hidden deep in the Appalachian woods. I remembered it vaguely from childhood, but it looked different now. Quiet, watched. The key fit perfectly. Inside, dust coated everything. A life frozen in time. Photographs of me as a child. Drawings, notes, engineering schematics, blueprints. And then I saw the latch. Beneath the floorboards was not a basement. It was a lab. Cold metal, screens, servers, shelves of scientific journals. Everything tagged and organized. And on the center table, a cube. It lit up when I touched it. Grandpa, recording. Hello, my dear. If you're hearing this, I'm gone. But my work isn't. You were the reason I built this. They wanted to hide you. I refused. You were born with something special. The same anomaly that scared your parents excited me. Your DNA is the future. I trained White E, this AI assistant, to help you learn. Everything here is yours. VO, I cried. I didn't leave that lab for months. Wit E became my only companion. The AI was advanced, holographic, personalized to my speech patterns. Wit E. Good morning, Claire. Today's module, cellular regeneration and nanotherapy. I studied all day, slept when I could, ate from old canned supplies and deliveries I ordered under aliases. By the 6th month, I had built my first prototype, BioVerdant, a device capable of diagnosing illnesses from DNA resonance. It worked on rats, on plants, even healed a burn on my hand overnight. I filed the patent anonymously. The world noticed. BioVerdant went viral. The medical industry was shaken. I received offers, millions, but I didn't want fame. I wanted freedom. Rachel started appearing on news segments, claiming she developed the tech. The lie caught fire until I released the footage. Proof, journals, my voice, my face. And then I revealed the real twist. I had bought Monroe Biotech, my parents' crumbling E, and I dismantled it. Publicly. Claire, press conference. You rejected me, you erased me, but you couldn't stop me. You tried to bury a seed, but I grew roots. Mom called, crying. Mom, Claire, we were wrong. We thought we were protecting you. We didn't understand. I listened, and then I said, I forgive you. But forgiveness isn't a reset button. You don't get to write over what was done. You get to accept who I am now, without trying to shrink me again. I started the WIT Foundation, funded by BioVerdant profits, free diagnostics to all underprivileged clinics worldwide. And then, I did something unexpected. I invited them to see the cabin. When they entered, I asked them to sit, and I played Grandpa's final message. Grandpa, recording. Claire was not your shame. She was your miracle. You just didn't want to see it. Dad cried. The man who never showed emotion. Rachel left the room. And me? I smiled. Maybe you're listening to this because you needed to hear someone say, you are not a mistake. Maybe your family forgot your worth. Maybe your friends overlooked your value. But listen to me. You were born with fire, and no amount of silence can kill a flame meant to shine. You don't need an inheritance to be valuable. You don't need applause to be powerful. You just need to remember who you are when no one is watching. My name is Claire Monroe. I was erased by the ones who raised me, but I rebuilt myself from memory, truth, and the voice of one man who saw me when no one else did. You can too. So if you're still here, hit subscribe, leave a comment, share your story, because sometimes the only legacy we need is the one we give to others. Thank you for listening. This was Claire's story, but maybe, just maybe, it's yours too.